Today, we delve into one of the most complex and controversial topics, excessive kindness and its impact on our lives. Through studying Stoic philosophy, it becomes clear that even the best intentions can work against us if we lose our sense of balance. Many people, in their desire to help others, sacrifice themselves to such an extent that they unknowingly lose their identity, violate their personal boundaries, and ultimately harm their own well-being. This process often unfolds gradually and imperceptibly. Step by step, we tread a path where caring for others takes precedence over self-care, and only when the consequences become undeniable do we realize how far we've gone. However, there's no need to panic. Today, we'll explore how to learn from this situation and prevent it from recurring. In this video, we'll uncover 10 reasons why excessive kindness can become your worst enemy. We'll turn to the ancient wisdom of Stoicism to learn how to strike the delicate balance between altruism and healthy self-interest. Trust me, this information can fundamentally change your understanding of what it means to be truly kind and generous in today's world. Together, we will reveal the secrets of harmony, learn how to say no when necessary, and understand that true kindness begins with respecting yourself. The first reason, the risk of becoming a doormat for others. Excessive kindness often leads people to take you for granted. You're always ready to lend a helping hand, even when your instincts tell you it might not be in your best interest. At first, this appears as a sign of care and altruism, but over time, you notice that others begin to expect this help from you constantly. When you unconditionally agree to every request, you unintentionally create false expectations and foster a habit in others to rely on your readiness to sacrifice yourself. This behavior turns you into a kind of doormat that everyone gets used to walking over. You start feeling that your efforts and hard work are devalued, and the gratitude you hoped for rarely feels genuine. Instead of acknowledgement for your contributions, people come to see your kindness as routine. This can lead to a sense of internal emptiness as you begin to realize you are not valued as an individual. Stoicism teaches us that true kindness is not about endless self-sacrifice but about wise management of our resources. The great philosopher Seneca once said, "Never do good to the detriment of yourself." This is a reminder that self-care is not selfishness but a crucial element of a harmonious life. If you consistently neglect your own needs for the sake of others, you gradually lose your sense of identity and inner compass. When you become a doormat for others, it not only damages your inner state but also alters how others perceive you. They stop seeing you as a person with your own desires, needs, and boundaries. Instead, they view you as a tool to solve their problems. Ultimately, this leads to a loss of respect, not only from others but also from yourself. To avoid this, it is essential to establish boundaries in time. Saying no is not a sign of weakness but a way to preserve your energy and dignity. Refusing a request doesn't make you a bad person, on the contrary, it shows that you value your time and resources. People who genuinely respect you will understand and accept your position. Stoicism also reminds us of the importance of choosing whom we are willing to help. Being selective in relationships allows you to focus on those who truly appreciate your involvement. Helping such people becomes a source of joy and mutual growth, rather than a burden. When you learn to set boundaries, others begin to respect you more. They understand that your kindness is a conscious choice, not an obligation. This also helps you maintain inner balance and avoid emotional burnout, which often plagues those who try to please everyone around them. Becoming a doormat is not a sudden event but the result of repeatedly ignoring your own needs. Each concession made at the expense of yourself takes away a piece of your inner strength. Over time, this leads to losing touch with yourself and your sense of control over your life. To prevent this, start small, recognize your true desires and learn to protect them. Saying no where necessary is the first step toward restoring lost balance. Stoicism reminds us that self-care is the foundation upon which our ability to help others is built. Excessive kindness is not a path to happiness and harmony but a direct road to disappointment. Only by respecting your boundaries and values can you maintain your uniqueness and inner strength. Remember, your well-being is no less important than the well-being of those you help. The second reason, attracting energy vampires. Excessive kindness often acts as a magnet for those we might call energy vampires. These are individuals who constantly demand your time, attention, and effort while giving nothing in return. Such people are not concerned about your well-being, their main goal is to exploit your generosity for their own benefit. They may appear friendly and needy, but beneath their requests lies an insatiable thirst for consuming your energy. You've likely noticed that the more you give, the more is expected of you. Energy vampires seem to sense your kindness, viewing it as an inexhaustible resource. They frequently complain about their lives, continually seeking your support or assistance, but are never willing to reciprocate. Instead of gratitude, you are met with a new wave of demands, leaving you feeling drained and depleted. Stoicism teaches us to wisely manage our resources, including energy and time. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do good not for the sake of gratitude, but for the sake of goodness itself." However, this does not mean you should allow others to abuse your kindness. Being selective in relationships is not cruelty but a necessity for maintaining your own balance. Energy vampires typically enter your life unnoticed. Initially, their requests may seem entirely reasonable, but over time, they grow in number, and you receive nothing in return. They might manipulate your feelings of guilt or responsibility, making you believe you are obligated to help them. If you continue to comply, they only strengthen their hold on you. Stoicism reminds us that helping others should be a conscious choice and reserved for those who truly need and value our support. This involves asking yourself critical questions: does this person genuinely appreciate my help? Or are they merely using me for their own purposes? Honest answers to these questions can help you better understand who is deserving of your time and effort. When you allow energy vampires to exploit your kindness, you risk losing not only your resources but also your faith in people. The constant feeling of being used can lead to disappointment and even cynicism. To avoid this, it is crucial to recognize such individuals early on and establish clear boundaries with them. Boundaries are a tool that helps you conserve your energy and protect your well-being. Saying no when necessary demonstrates that you respect yourself and your time. This does not make you a bad person, on the contrary, it is a sign of inner strength and maturity. People who genuinely care about you will accept and respect your boundaries. Energy vampires, on the other hand, will try to breach your boundaries by any means. They may accuse you of selfishness, appeal to your pity, or find new ways to manipulate you. However, Stoic wisdom reminds us that you are not obligated to meet others' expectations, especially if it comes at your own expense. Marcus Aurelius advised being discerning in relationships and surrounding yourself with people who share your values. This helps create a more harmonious environment where your efforts bring joy rather than exhaustion. A conscious choice of your social circle is key to preserving your energy. Stoicism also teaches us that true altruism begins with self-care. If you are completely depleted, you cannot help anyone, including yourself. Therefore, it is essential to find a balance between kindness and preserving your resources. Energy vampires often disappear when they encounter your boundaries. This is a natural selection process. Those who truly value you will remain, while those who are accustomed to taking will leave in search of another victim. Thus, setting boundaries helps you create a healthier social environment. It is important to remember that kindness is not endless self-sacrifice but a conscious act of caring for others. By learning to say no when necessary, you strengthen your position and protect your well-being. This is not selfishness but a healthy attitude toward yourself. Stoicism encourages us to view kindness as a deliberate choice, not an obligation. This means you can help others, but only when it does not harm you. By prioritizing your own interests, you preserve energy for truly important tasks and people. The third reason, losing connection with yourself. When you constantly give yourself to others, helping, supporting, and sacrificing your own interests, you risk losing connection with yourself. Gradually, other people's problems, dreams, and goals begin to occupy all your time, pushing your own desires into the background. You become so deeply immersed in others' concerns that you forget who you truly are and what you want from life. This state can creep up unnoticed. At first, you feel joy in being useful, but over time, you realize that your life has become a backdrop for other people's stories. You are no longer the protagonist of your own destiny but a supporting character helping others achieve their successes. This dynamic disrupts your inner harmony, as a person without personal goals loses direction and meaning. Stoicism reminds us that our primary responsibility in life is to ourselves. Epictetus said, "First decide who you want to be, then do what you must to achieve it." This is not a call to selfishness but a reminder of the importance of preserving your identity and uniqueness. If you lose yourself, you cannot truly be of value to others. When you neglect your own dreams and goals, life becomes dull and predictable. Instead of moving forward, you find yourself stuck in place, fulfilling others' desires. This can lead to feelings of emptiness and dissatisfaction. It may seem like you are doing a lot, but in reality, you are not achieving anything meaningful for yourself. Losing connection with yourself can also bring a sense of disappointment. You start to realize that your dreams remain unfulfilled and your goals forgotten. This state can erode your self-esteem, as you no longer see yourself as the person you aspired to be. Ultimately, it may lead to depression and a loss of motivation. Stoicism offers a simple yet powerful tool, mindfulness. It is essential to regularly ask yourself questions: what do I want? What am I striving for? What is truly important to me? These reflections help refocus on your priorities and restore your connection with yourself. Without understanding your own goals, you risk dissolving into the lives of others, losing your individuality. When you begin to pay more attention to yourself, your inner state transforms. You feel like you're taking control of your life again, and this fills you with energy. Your actions become more deliberate, and your decisions more confident. You stop being a prisoner of others' expectations and become the master of your own destiny. Setting boundaries is another crucial step in regaining connection with yourself. Learn to say no when necessary and don't be afraid to refuse requests if they conflict with your interests. This is not cruelty but a way to preserve yourself and your inner balance. Stoicism also teaches us to take responsibility for our lives. No one but you decides who you are and what you want to achieve. Respect for yourself begins with embracing your desires and aspirations. When you learn to value yourself, others will begin to value you as well. It's important to remember that losing connection with yourself is not the end but a challenge. It's a signal that it's time to reevaluate your priorities and find balance between self-care and helping others. Only by preserving your identity can you truly be of value to those around you and live a life in harmony with yourself. Epictetus reminded us, only by preserving yourself can you help others. This golden rule allows us to find harmony between altruism and self-care. Remember, your life is your journey, and only you decide how to walk it. The fourth reason, suppressing true feelings. Excessive kindness often compels us to suppress our true feelings to avoid disappointing others. Each time we say yes against our will, emotional tension builds within us. At first glance, it seems like a small sacrifice, but over time, these suppressed emotions grow into hidden resentment, frustration, and even anger. Suppressing your feelings is like filling a vessel that will eventually overflow. We smile, agree, and try to appear agreeable, even though something inside us protests. Over time, this inner conflict begins to erode our emotional well-being, potentially leading to burnout or even depression. Stoicism teaches us to be honest with ourselves and acknowledge our emotions. Seneca said that suppressed anger becomes destructive to the soul. Instead of hiding your feelings, Stoics encourage understanding their nature and expressing them constructively. This approach not only helps maintain inner harmony but also prevents future conflicts. When you suppress your feelings, you risk losing trust in yourself. You start doubting your decisions and feel as though you are betraying your values. This erodes self-esteem and creates the impression that you are living someone else's life, constantly conforming to others' expectations. Suppressed emotions also impact your relationships. People begin to see you only as someone who always agrees, failing to notice your individuality. You become convenient but invisible, which prevents you from building deep, genuine connections based on mutual understanding. Stoicism reminds us of the importance of saying no and standing up for our boundaries. This is not selfishness but a way to protect your inner space. By allowing yourself to be honest, you show respect not only for yourself but also for others, as sincerity is the foundation of trust. The emotions we suppress do not disappear. They accumulate and may surface unexpectedly in outbursts of anger or disappointment, potentially damaging relationships. Stoicism teaches that managing emotions means understanding and working with them, not ignoring them. Suppressing true feelings prevents you from being yourself. You start playing a role that is convenient for others but does not reflect your true identity. This creates a sense of inner discord and alienation from your essence. To avoid this, it is important to listen to your inner voice and respect your emotions. Seneca once said, "Anger is a desire to take revenge for pain." If we do not acknowledge this pain, it remains with us, corroding us from within. Instead of suppression, it's essential to find a safe way to express your feelings while maintaining respect for yourself and others. When you learn to express your emotions, you create space for inner peace. Honesty with yourself allows you to make more deliberate decisions and strengthens your sense of self-worth. This makes you a more confident and harmonious person. Suppressing emotions also drains your energy. Constantly resisting your true feelings takes effort and depletes your internal resources. Stoicism suggests conserving this energy for what truly matters: your goals, dreams, and meaningful relationships. Learning to express your emotions is not a weakness but a strength. It's the ability to live in harmony with yourself and build open relationships with others. Stoicism reminds us that you have the right to your feelings and thoughts, even if they don't align with others' expectations. Suppressing emotions creates a vicious cycle. The more you hide your feelings, the harder it becomes to express them. This intensifies inner tension and fosters a deeper sense of alienation. Breaking this cycle is possible only through honesty with yourself and others. When you stop suppressing your feelings, your relationships change. People begin to see you not just as kind but also as genuine, someone who values themselves. This builds trust and makes your connections deeper and more meaningful. Stoicism teaches us to respect our emotions and use them as a tool for self-understanding. If you feel anger, resentment, or frustration, it's a signal that your boundaries have been crossed. Recognizing this allows you to restore balance and prevent further conflicts. By allowing yourself to express your feelings, you create space for joy and fulfillment. Your inner state becomes lighter and freer, and your life more vibrant and complete. This enables you to be happy and successful without sacrificing your individuality. Stoicism reminds us that self-care begins with respecting our emotions. You are not obligated to be convenient for everyone. Your primary purpose is to remain true to yourself and live in harmony with your inner values. Only then can you truly help others while preserving your own well-being. The fifth reason: losing the respect of others. Excessive kindness can lead to people taking you for granted, causing them to lose respect for you. When you constantly try to please others by agreeing to every request and sacrificing yourself, it doesn't result in gratitude but rather creates dependency. People stop seeing you as an individual and begin treating you as a resource always available to meet their needs. At first, others may appreciate your kindness, but over time, they grow accustomed to it and start viewing it as something expected. This dynamic is dangerous because it diminishes your value in their eyes. Instead of respecting your efforts, people see you as merely a convenient person ready to lend a hand at any moment. Stoicism teaches us that respect begins with self-respect. If you don't value your time and energy, others won't either. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to not be like those who hurt you." This wisdom reminds us that strength and confidence are essential to earning respect, not an eagerness to please everyone. When you prioritize others' interests over your own, people stop seeing you as an equal. They start believing you owe them assistance, and even the slightest refusal may surprise or disappoint them. This undermines your confidence and creates the perception that your boundaries are unimportant. The loss of respect from others is often tied to allowing your personal boundaries to be violated. Each time you agree to a request that contradicts your desires, you signal that your needs are secondary. This not only disrupts your inner balance but also fosters unhealthy dynamics in your relationships. Stoicism encourages us to manage our resources wisely and learn to say no when necessary. This is not selfishness but a demonstration of inner strength. People who genuinely respect you will understand and honor your position, treating you with greater regard. Excessive kindness can also create the impression that you lack self-confidence. Always being ready to help without expecting anything in return can be perceived as weakness. People respect those who can stand up for their interests and clearly express their positions. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that respect cannot be demanded, it must be earned. This is achieved through consistent actions, confidence, and the ability to maintain boundaries. If you want others to respect you, start by respecting yourself and your time. When you learn to say no, you demonstrate that you value your own opinion and are willing to stand by it. This garners respect, even from those who have grown accustomed to your kindness. They begin to see you not as just a convenient helper but as a person with your own values and principles. Stoicism also teaches us that respect from others is impossible without inner harmony. If you feel drained and unfulfilled, it will inevitably affect your relationships. Taking care of yourself is the first step to being strong and confident in the eyes of others. The excessive desire to please everyone often leads to losing not only respect but also yourself. You begin to feel like you're living someone else's life, conforming to their expectations. This creates internal conflict and erodes your sense of self-worth. Stoicism reminds us that respect is the result of actions, not a desire to please. To restore balance, it's crucial to start valuing your time, energy, and efforts. People respect those who are confident and able to set boundaries. If you want others to respect you, start with small steps. Learn to say no in situations where it's necessary and stop fearing disappointing others. This will not only strengthen your confidence but also show others that you value yourself. Losing respect is not the end but a challenge. It's an opportunity to reassess your priorities and build relationships based on mutual understanding and respect. Stoicism helps us realize that true respect comes from honesty and staying true to your principles. When you regain self-respect, others begin to see you in a new light. They start to value your sincerity, strength, and confidence. This fosters deeper, more meaningful connections that bring joy and mutual support. Remember, your time and efforts are priceless, and only you can decide how to use them. Respect begins with self-care and setting healthy boundaries. Stoicism offers us the wisdom to build relationships rooted in sincerity and mutual respect. The sixth reason: emotional and physical burnout. Excessive kindness and the constant desire to please everyone often lead to emotional and physical burnout. When you spend all your resources helping others while neglecting your own needs, your body and mind begin to send signals of exhaustion. You feel drained, as if all your energy has been siphoned away, and even simple tasks become overwhelming. Burnout doesn't happen suddenly, it's a gradual process. Every concession, every yes said against your will, takes a toll on you. At first, it might seem insignificant, but over time, these small sacrifices accumulate into chronic fatigue. You might notice yourself becoming irritable, less patient, or even indifferent to things that once brought you joy. Stoicism reminds us of the importance of balance between giving and self-care. Seneca wrote, "Rest and leisure are not luxuries, but necessities of life." Ignoring your own needs to help others puts you at risk of complete exhaustion. Without restoring your resources, you can't be useful to yourself or those around you. Physical burnout manifests in a loss of energy, weakened immunity, and frequent illnesses. Your body struggles to cope with constant stress, which impacts your health. You might experience chronic fatigue, sleep problems, or even physical pain caused by stress. Emotional burnout brings feelings of powerlessness, loss of motivation, and disappointment. You may feel that your efforts go unnoticed and that your kindness is taken for granted. This creates an internal conflict, making you question the value of your actions and the significance of your own identity. Stoicism offers a strategy to maintain balance, consciously managing your resources. This includes learning to say no when necessary and distributing your energy in a way that keeps you in harmony with yourself. While helping others, it's crucial to remember your responsibility to yourself. When burnout reaches its peak, you feel isolated and lost. It seems as though no one understands your condition, leaving you to face your exhaustion alone. This can lead to depression, anxiety, and even physical illnesses. Stoicism teaches us that to help others, we must first take care of ourselves. Seneca observed that everyone needs breaks to maintain clarity of mind and strength of spirit. The ability to rest and recharge is not a weakness but a form of wisdom. By preserving your resources, you can continue to benefit others without destroying yourself. Burnout can also impact your relationships. When you're exhausted, you become less tolerant and more withdrawn. This may lead to conflicts and distance from loved ones, who start to sense your fatigue and emotional unavailability. To avoid burnout, it's important to regularly make time for yourself. This could involve short breaks during the day, proper rest, or activities that bring you joy. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of paying attention to your own needs and maintaining inner balance. Helping others is a noble endeavor, but it shouldn't come at the expense of your well-being. If you feel your strength is waning, it's a sign that it's time to pause and care for yourself. This is not selfishness but a mindful approach to your capabilities. Stoicism teaches us that true strength lies not in endless self-sacrifice but in the ability to preserve yourself. When you are in harmony with yourself, you can help others with greater enthusiasm and confidence. This makes your kindness more intentional and impactful. Burnout is a signal that your boundaries have been crossed. Stoicism helps us identify where those boundaries lie and teaches us to protect them. Knowing when to say no is not weakness but a sign of respect for yourself. When you restore your energy, you feel vitality and joy returning to your life. Your actions become more deliberate, and your decisions more confident. This helps you avoid future burnout and maintain a balance between giving and self-care. Remember, you are not obligated to save the world at the cost of your own health. Your resources are valuable, and only you can decide how to use them. Stoicism offers the wisdom to maintain harmony and prevent emotional and physical exhaustion. The seventh reason: missed opportunities for growth. Excessive kindness can cause you to miss crucial opportunities for personal and professional growth. By constantly saying yes to others' requests, you sacrifice the time that could have been spent developing your skills, achieving your goals, or pursuing your dreams. Instead of moving forward, you find yourself stuck, solving other people's problems. Stoicism reminds us that time is our most valuable resource. Epictetus said, "In every affair, consider what precedes and what follows." Before agreeing to another request, it's essential to think about whether it will divert you from your own tasks and objectives. Saying yes without careful thought can rob you of the chance to progress. When you consistently sacrifice your time for others, you miss out on opportunities to learn new things. Time that could be used for reading, acquiring skills, advancing your career, or working on personal projects is instead spent elsewhere. Every yes at the expense of your interests is a step backward. Instead of growing, you remain stagnant or even regress. Missed opportunities for growth can lead to internal disappointment. You may start feeling like time is slipping away while your dreams remain unfulfilled. This creates a sense of dissatisfaction that gradually erodes your self-confidence. It feels as though you're standing still while others are moving forward. Stoicism teaches us mindfulness in decision-making. When you evaluate each situation through the lens of your goals, you become more confident in your actions. This doesn't mean ignoring others' requests, but it emphasizes balancing helping others with caring for yourself. Constantly agreeing to others' demands can distract you from pivotal moments. You miss opportunities that could change your life because your attention is focused on others' needs. This is especially dangerous in professional settings, where growth requires time, effort, and concentration. Missed opportunities for growth also hinder you from developing your strengths. Instead of deepening your engagement with what inspires and improves you, you disperse your resources on tasks that bring no benefit. Stoicism reminds us that true kindness begins with self-care. Only a strong person can genuinely help others. Each yes to others and no to your goals makes you a prisoner of others' expectations. You lose the opportunity to take responsibility for your life and steer it in the direction you desire. This turns you into a passive observer rather than an active participant in your destiny. Stoicism encourages us to ask ourselves, what am I missing by agreeing to this request, or what opportunities am I losing? These reflections help make conscious decisions aligned with your goals and priorities. This isn't cruelty but wisdom. Learning to say no frees up time for yourself. You can use this time for personal growth, learning new skills, or working on projects that truly matter to you. This not only fosters growth but also boosts your confidence. Missed opportunities for growth can also affect your relationships. People may see you as someone who is always ready to help but neglects themselves. This diminishes respect for you and makes you less inspiring as an individual. Growing and progressing make you a role model for others. Stoicism reminds us that growth isn't just about achieving goals but also about self-discovery. When you forego opportunities for growth, you deprive yourself of the chance to uncover your true abilities and potential. This makes life less fulfilling and meaningful. Every yes to others is a no to your own goals. Understanding this helps change your approach to managing time and resources. Remember, your life is your responsibility, and only you can decide its direction. Missed opportunities can also lead to feelings of envy. You might notice others achieving success while you spend your time on others' tasks. This undermines your motivation and creates internal conflict, hindering your progress. Stoicism teaches us to view opportunities as steps toward self-improvement. Every decision should be deliberate and directed toward achieving what matters to you. This doesn't mean refusing to help others but rather prioritizing in ways that allow you to grow. When you recognize the value of time, you start being more selective about how you spend it. This makes your life more meaningful and harmonious. You feel like you're moving forward rather than wasting your resources. Missed opportunities are a reminder that every moment in life is precious. Stoicism encourages us to value our time and use it wisely. Helping others is important, but not at the expense of abandoning your own dreams and goals. By maintaining balance, you can achieve more and remain in harmony with yourself. The eighth reason: strained relationships with loved ones. Excessive kindness can negatively impact relationships with those closest to you. When you constantly sacrifice your own interests for others, it creates an unhealthy dynamic. You give too much of your time and energy to others, leaving your loved ones feeling neglected and undervalued. Your loved ones may begin to notice that you put more effort into solving others' problems than addressing their needs. This can lead to feelings of resentment and distrust. Tension builds in your relationships as your partner or family may feel like they're being relegated to second place in your life. Stoicism reminds us that healthy relationships require balance between giving and receiving. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have done good, and another has benefited. Why do you still look for more?" This wisdom teaches us to act consciously and remember the importance of equilibrium in relationships. When you give too much of yourself to others, you become emotionally drained. This takes a toll on your relationships with loved ones, as you lack the energy for meaningful interaction. As a result, your family or partner may feel unheard or ignored. The constant desire to please everyone around you can also cause you to overlook the boundaries of your loved ones. In your efforts to care for others, you might forget to ask what your family truly wants or needs. This creates a sense of detachment, as their needs remain unnoticed. Stoicism teaches us to build relationships consciously, with room for mutual understanding and respect. If you neglect your loved ones for the sake of others' problems, you risk eroding the trust that has taken years to build. Without trust, relationships lose their depth and meaning. Excessive kindness can also make your loved ones feel like you're avoiding your own responsibilities. When you're constantly preoccupied with others' issues, you may put off household tasks or family obligations. This can lead to frustration and dissatisfaction, especially if your loved ones feel you don't have time for them. Your loved ones might even begin to see your kindness as a weakness. They may not understand why you sacrifice yourself for others and lose respect for your choices. This can lead to conflict, as their expectations of you clash with your actions. Stoicism reminds us that true kindness begins with caring for yourself and your loved ones. If you're exhausted, you can't be helpful to yourself or your family. By learning to say no to others' requests, you create time and energy to strengthen your closest relationships. Strained relationships with loved ones often stem from a lack of communication. When you're overly focused on others, you may stop sharing your thoughts and feelings with your partner or family. This creates distance and the impression that you've become emotionally unavailable. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what truly matters. Your loved ones are the ones who are always there for you, and their support is essential for your harmony. Losing connection with them means losing a part of yourself. When your loved ones feel that you give more of yourself to others than to them, it undermines their confidence in your relationship. They may begin to doubt your sincerity and perceive your actions as a sign that they're not important to you. Epictetus said, "First decide who you want to be, and then do what needs to be done." In the context of relationships, this means recognizing the roles and priorities you choose. If your role in your relationships with loved ones is lost, it leads to their breakdown. Your loved ones need not only your help but also your attention, care, and presence. If you're constantly occupied with others' problems, you miss the chance to share important moments with them. These missed moments eventually create a chasm between you. Stoicism teaches that balance in relationships comes from mindfulness and sincerity. If you don't pay attention to your loved ones, the relationships lose their strength. To restore balance, you must recognize that your loved ones are a priority. When you learn to set boundaries with others, you free up time for your family. This helps build trust and creates an atmosphere of mutual respect. Your loved ones start to feel that they truly matter to you. Strained relationships with loved ones aren't an end but an opportunity to reevaluate your priorities. Stoicism helps us understand that kindness should extend not only to others but also to those who are always by your side. This strengthens your bonds and makes your relationships more harmonious. The ninth reason, lowered self-esteem. Excessive kindness can take a toll on your self-esteem, especially when it involves constantly sacrificing your interests for others. When you prioritize others' needs over your own, you may begin to feel that your desires and goals don't matter. Over time, this belief solidifies, and you start seeing yourself as someone whose worth lies solely in pleasing others. Each time you ignore your own wishes to help others, you reinforce the notion that your interests are secondary. This erodes your inner sense of importance and leads to doubts about your value. Questions like, "Am I needed?" or "Am I good enough if no one notices what I do?" may begin to haunt you. Stoicism reminds us that our value is not determined by how others perceive us. Epictetus said, "You suffer not because of what happens to you, but because of how you perceive it." If you constantly focus on others' expectations, you lose touch with who you truly are. The relentless drive to please others makes you dependent on their approval. You feel that your worth is validated only by gratitude or praise. When this validation doesn't come, you might feel useless and unworthy, creating internal conflict and undermining your confidence. Lowered self-esteem also manifests in avoidance of new opportunities. You fear failure because you've grown too accustomed to the role of the helper rather than the leader. This limits your personal growth and deepens the sense that you can't achieve anything meaningful. Stoicism teaches us to respect ourselves and our boundaries. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Often the injustice lies not in what is done, but in what is not done." Neglecting yourself is an injustice to yourself. This is a reminder that your well-being is important. Excessive kindness conditions you to believe that your needs are insignificant. Over time, this belief becomes part of your self-perception. You stop seeing yourself as an individual with unique talents and qualities, leading to feelings of emptiness and dissatisfaction. Constantly downplaying your interests fosters the belief that you don't deserve better. You begin settling for less than your worth, in relationships and in life. This exacerbates internal imbalance and prevents you from realizing your potential. Stoicism reminds us that everyone deserves respect, including oneself. Respect for yourself begins with the ability to say no when necessary. This is not selfishness but a way to care for your inner state. By setting boundaries, you demonstrate that you value your time and efforts. Lowered self-esteem often brings guilt. You might blame yourself for failing to meet others' expectations, even if those expectations are unreasonable. This creates a vicious cycle: the more you try, the less worthy you feel. When you sacrifice your interests for others, you lose touch with your dreams and goals. This heightens your dissatisfaction as you see no progress in your life. Stoicism teaches us, before helping others, take care of yourself. Only then can you maintain balance and strengthen your self-esteem. Lowered self-esteem makes you more vulnerable to manipulation. People might exploit your kindness, reinforcing your sense of inadequacy. Stoicism reminds us that your value doesn't depend on others' opinions but is shaped by your actions and thoughts. When your self-esteem declines, you start avoiding challenges. You fear failure because you no longer trust your abilities. This robs you of opportunities to grow and move forward. Confidence begins with recognizing and honoring your needs. Excessive kindness prevents you from enjoying your own achievements. You're too focused on helping others to notice your successes. This diminishes your confidence and amplifies the feeling that you're not accomplished enough. Stoicism teaches us to find balance between caring for others and caring for ourselves. Epictetus said, "Happy is the person who approves of themselves, not the one approved by others." Taking care of your self-esteem is the first step to harmony. When you begin to respect yourself, your self-esteem strengthens. You realize you have the right to your desires and dreams, which makes you more resilient. Self-respect attracts respect from others, improving the quality of your relationships. Lowered self-esteem is not the end but a challenge. It's an opportunity to reassess your priorities and learn to care for yourself. Stoicism helps us understand that our value begins with our attitude toward ourselves. Only by believing in yourself can you build harmonious relationships with the world. The 10th reason: losing the true meaning of kindness. Excessive kindness often leads to a loss of its true meaning, transforming it into a tool for manipulation or a way to gain approval. When you perform acts of kindness not out of genuine intention but for praise, gratitude, or fear of rejection, kindness ceases to be sincere. It becomes a mask hiding insecurity and a need for validation. True kindness comes from the depths of the soul and expects nothing in return. However, in the pursuit of approval, you might begin using good deeds as a means to achieve personal goals. This creates an illusion of altruism that eventually erodes your sincerity and others' trust. Stoicism reminds us that kindness should be free from expectations. Seneca wrote, "We should do good not for a reward but because it is in our nature." When you demand gratitude for your kindness, you strip it of its true essence, reducing it to a transaction. When kindness becomes a means to earn approval, it loses its power. People can sense insincerity, even if your actions appear noble. This creates tension in relationships and fosters distrust. Others may perceive your actions as manipulative, which undermines their respect for you. Losing the true meaning of kindness also impacts your inner state. You may feel disappointed when your expectations aren't met. If you help others for gratitude but don't receive it, this can lead to resentment and frustration. It feels as though your efforts go unnoticed, which diminishes your self-confidence. Genuine kindness brings joy and fulfillment regardless of others' reactions. When you act out of pure intent, you strengthen your soul and cultivate inner harmony. Stoicism teaches us that true kindness is action-free from fear and expectation. When kindness becomes a tool for manipulation, it loses its sincerity and beauty. You might feel that your actions no longer reflect your true nature but serve external goals instead. This creates internal conflict and a sense of alienation from yourself. When kindness loses its meaning, it stops being a source of joy. Instead, it becomes a duty that brings fatigue and disappointment. You may feel like you're acting on autopilot, unable to find genuine meaning in your deeds. Stoicism reminds us that kind acts are a natural expression of human nature. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "We were born to help one another, just as hands help each other." When you act sincerely, you find balance between caring for others and preserving your core values. Losing the true meaning of kindness can also lead you to neglect your own needs. You expend all your energy on others, forgetting that kindness begins with self-care. Without inner harmony, you cannot be genuinely kind to others. When you return to the true meaning of kindness, you gain inner freedom. You no longer depend on others' opinions or expect gratitude for your actions. This makes your deeds more genuine and fills your life with meaning. Stoicism teaches us that kindness is not a tool to achieve goals but a natural expression of our essence. When you act sincerely and without expectations, your kind acts become a source of inner strength and joy. This strengthens your relationship with yourself and makes your life more meaningful. When kindness loses its true meaning, you may feel drained and unfulfilled. This is a signal that it's time to reassess your motives and restore sincerity to your actions. True kindness comes from the heart and demands nothing in return. Losing the meaning of kindness also hinders the building of deep and genuine relationships. People can sense when your actions are motivated not by care but by hidden intentions. This creates distance and distrust, which can harm close connections. To restore the true meaning of kindness, it's important to reevaluate your expectations. Stoicism reminds us that kind acts should not be contingent on gratitude or praise. When you act for the sake of kindness itself, you strengthen your soul and develop inner harmony. True kindness doesn't need recognition. It exists on its own and brings joy to the person who practices it. When you act sincerely, you feel an inner peace and confidence that you're doing the right thing. Stoicism teaches us to remember that true kindness begins with self-respect. When you're honest with yourself, your actions become more deliberate and meaningful. This helps you maintain balance between caring for others and caring for yourself. By restoring kindness to its true meaning, you free yourself from others' expectations. Your actions reflect your essence, not a desire to please. This makes you stronger, more harmonious, and a more confident person. Kindness is one of humanity's greatest virtues, but its true strength is revealed only when it aligns with wisdom and self-respect. Excessive kindness, devoid of balance, can become a source of problems, from loss of respect and lowered self-esteem to burnout and strained relationships. We've explored 10 reasons why excessive kindness can be harmful and how Stoicism helps restore its true meaning. The philosophy of Stoicism reminds us that kindness should stem from inner strength, not a desire to please others or fear of rejection. Only conscious kindness, free from manipulation and expectations, can bring joy and strengthen both our relationships with others and our connection with ourselves. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus urge us to value our time, set boundaries, and consider our needs, for without self-respect, we cannot be truly kind to others. Let your kindness be a conscious choice, not a sacrifice. Learn to say no when necessary, care for your resources, and respect your boundaries. Remember, your inner balance and well-being are just as important as helping others. Stoicism teaches us to seek the golden mean, to be generous without self-harm, to help others while not forgetting our own goals and dreams. Kindness filled with sincerity and wisdom can not only improve your life but also inspire others to act kindly. Remember, helping others is important, but preserving yourself is even more vital. Only a strong and balanced person can truly be helpful and kind in this world.